Thanks for tuning into the NBA here on 2K Sports. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers up against Andrea Bargnani and the Toronto Raptors. And now it's time to get out to the action with Kevin Harlan and our 2K Sports crew. We'll be back later with the HP Halftime Report.
We'll see the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors. The NBA on 2K Sports. That is the place you want to be, and we're happy to have you with us on our broadcast today. Here's the starting group for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jamison and Varejao in the middle. Baron Davis and Anthony Parker pair up in the backcourt, and it's Caspi in at the 3. And for Toronto, Calderon and DeRozan are the guards. Bargnani is out there with Amir Johnson, and it's Kleza in at the small forward.
Well, last season was a tough one for Toronto Raptors fans. They managed just 16 wins in front of their home fans, and even for losing teams. If you can win at home, that's a starting point. That's an area they have to improve upon.
It'll be the Raptors off the tip. And here's Calderon. Leave town and watch the team rebuild, and it's, Clark, going to be quite a rebuilding project.
Yeah, but at the same token, Kevin, I mean, Bosh had 8 seasons there, and he only had 3 playoff wins to show for it. He and the Raptors, they just didn't have the pieces to get over the hump to get to that next level. At some point, you got to hit that refresh button.
I can't argue with that. Jamison the pass to Davis. 2 on the clock, and he connects with the jumper. Varejao's got the game going here with the first.
Talked about what an even matchup this is and said he expected a very tightly contested game. When two teams are so alike, more often than not, it comes down to the very last moments, or even a little bit of luck. We'll see if he's right, guys.
Thanks for that, Doris. Boy, any edge you can get, guys, in a matchup like this.
I think it's going to be a chess match.
I agree, Clark. I mean, I would expect a close game. It should be a back-and-forth contest, and should be fun to watch. I would expect it to go down to the wire. Well, last season was such a tough campaign for the Cavs, and the biggest blow was losing Anderson Varejao to that ankle injury. And when he missed most of the season, it really spelled doom for Cleveland.
Here's Calderon. Just over 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Back to Varejao. Won't be easy to come back, Clark, from an ankle.
And it's hard to get back to full strength when you're recovering from an ankle injury. You've got to take your time and gradually build up to it. And it might not be this season before he's fully healthy again.
Jamison, a screen. Parker kicks to Jamison. And it's Johnson picking 4. Now here's Calderon. Here is
tough season last year for Cleveland Conference, scoring just 15 and 37.
That is good.
Well, and the bounce pass was the key to the play.
And deflected by Davis. Parker with it. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send him to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
Free throw good by Parker. Back to the Cavs. You know opponents could smell blood against them for a while, too, in that East.
Yeah, and I mean, they went through a stretch where they lost, 20-plus games in a row.
Yes.
And, teams were desperately trying not to be the team that ended that losing streak, so they had a lot of things working against them, not to mention a depletion of talent and personnel from prior seasons.
With a coach, a brand new coach, and Byron Scott, who was used to winning.
Yeah, no question about that.
Tough environment, really was.
Very difficult.
Now, that falls. Nice speed this time from Jose Calderon. 59 seconds left in the first. And here is Davis. Parker outside. Back to Davis. Clock at 6. The tray. And Anthony Parker gets the 3. Picked up by Davis. Thick work on the offensive glass to make that one work.
Well, he's a slippery guy. I mean, he knows exactly how to use angles to slip his way past the defender and get into outstanding rebounding position for the putback.
And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude.
Ball and did a nice job offensively.
Yeah, excellent ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard, too.
Don't go away. We'll see you in a moment. Here's Gibson.
You know, Antoine Jamison, after his injury, was coming off the bench for Cleveland, and it didn't quite sit too well with him. Eventually, though, he adjusted to it.
So on the floor for Cleveland, Jamison and Verajao in the middle. Daniel Gibson is out there with Ramon Sessions, and it's Iyenga in at the small forward position. Just 4 to shoot. Takes a shot at the elbow, and again it's Cleveland. And Clark, for a star like Jamison to come off the bench, it's a big change for him. You warm up differently, you view the game differently, even if it is a part of injury rehab. So, Steve, it was an adjustment certainly for him.
Yeah, it was. It's always difficult when you're a starter and you're getting a lot of field goal attempts night after night to get moved to the bench. So for Jamison, it was an impressive adjustment that he made kind of on the fly. And I thought he eventually...
Throwing it down with Stein.
These folks are not going to forget that one anytime soon.
Here is Bayless. Johnson outside. He's up against Jamison. Johnson dishes to Bayless. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in.
Great pick, and that gave him enough space to get to the hoop and finish. Well, the Raptors not only were one of the youngest teams in the league last season, they may have been one of the youngest starting fives in league history. Jared Bayless, DeMar DeRozan, Amir Johnson, Sonny Weems, and Ed Davis. That starting lineup averaged just...
It's stolen by Sessions.
You can't get too loose with the ball down on the low post. Too easy to steal it.
Raptors trail by 6. Of course, a truism in the NBA is that young teams don't win much, but you can keep them together. Perhaps that might make a difference. The Raptors hoping their young players, Clark, can turn things around.
We're trying to do now. It's a lot easier said than done, but we've seen if you get that kind of player, things can turn around pretty quick.
Well, the top 4 players for Oklahoma City, for instance, 22 or younger.
Yeah.
So, yes, here's Iyenga. He kicks it to Gibson. To the paint. Got a piece of it. Out of bounds. And they retain possession. And the Raptors with some changes. Bargnani is checked in for Davis. Evans comes in for Amir Johnson. And it's Barbosa in for DeMar DeRozan. Here's Sessions. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Gets it to go. And the Cavaliers lead by 7.
Clearly, a defensive breakdown there, guys. They didn't play him close enough on the inbound and then gave up the triple.
Bayless the pass to Kleza. There's the block. The Cavaliers leading by 7. Goes up, and it's slammed in by Verajao.
Easy finish there.
Defense was helpless.
Here is Bayless. A minute 42 left to play here in the half. Deflects the pass. Here's Barbosa. Got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish.
And Leandro Barbosa, a long-time, very productive player for the Phoenix Suns, eventually traded to Toronto before last season and had a nice year for the Raptors.
1:11 left here in the second. So
Here.
Here's Barbosa. Looking for his first bucket of the up by Davis. 6 on the shot clock. Calderon kicks to Bargnani. The shot's good on the assist by Calderon. Calderon's got 3 assists in the game. Davis with it. They set the pick. He's guarded by Calderon. Samuels dishes to Davis. Launches it. And another 3 for Cleveland.
Yeah, they're finding the open man. Unselfish play. I like it.
Yeah, I love it too. Team
Separated by 5. Off the screen. And there's Bargnani on the assist by Barbosa. Bargnani's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Another good pass, and their offensive execution has been impressive, to say the least.
The last 4 field goals have been assisted. Yeah, passing has kept the defense off balance, but to get assists, you got to make the shots.
That falls nice. Spurs lead by 10.
And now let's break down the first half. Here are the HP halftime report. The Cleveland Cavaliers ahead against the Raptors at Air Canada Center. Offensively, they've been unstoppable, getting everything they want. A great performance by Baron Davis in the first half. He's got 9 points and also sharing it around with a few assists. And for Toronto, they've been battling. Shooting percentage, 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad. It hasn't been exactly a back-and-forth battle, but these two are trading their fair share of buckets. That'll do it for us here.
Here's Davis.
Things just went south, and they had that horrific losing streak.
Calderon and DeRozan are the guards. Amir Johnson is out there with Lennox Kleza. And it's Bargnani in at the 5 down low. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. Here is Calderon. Well, Steve, going back to that streak, 26 losses in a row spanning December to February. That had to just be a death march.
Man, I'm losing streak were in seed,
Right.
no contest.
Yeah, exactly.
Teams were just taking aim and beating them down.
Star as last summer Chris Bosh exited. The trend of big stars leaving Toronto includes the likes of Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, now Bosh, Hedo Turkoglu is also a player that got away. The fans above the border hoping that the same thing doesn't happen with their emerging group of youngsters on the roster now. We'll see, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Toronto has had some tough breaks in the free agent market.
You know, you hate to see its city lose so much talent, but I think they'll be able to rebound from it.
Parker outside. And Jamison backs in. The jump hook. And again, it's Cleveland.
This is some kind of performance we're seeing from him today. He is yet to miss a shot.
And left or right, and he'll start on the elbow, face up, and find a way to get that shot off. It's just so effective.
Toronto calls timeout. Talking about
Ends and floaters and difficult shots from difficult angles. I mean, he's a scorer. That's what he does.
Sonny Weems checks in for Kleza. Here's DeRozan. 13 points in the game. And here's Calderon. Oh, that's blocked. Here is Caspi. The dish to Verajao. Got that one up quick. Verajao's got 6.
Now, the offensive efficiency has been really important. I think that's been the difference.
Well, you know, I think it's pretty simplistic, but it does oftentimes come down to this, making shots, and that's what they've done.
DeRozan's shot is good.
And we're a bit of a circus on the road anyway. They still managed to finish with a better road record than 4 other teams in the league.
There's Parker with the 3, and another 3 for Cleveland.
His eyes were wide.
There's the pass to Davis. Gets it to...
That right. I mean, they knew it was going to be a tough year without LeBron James, but the thing I like about Cleveland is they continued to fight. They went through that horrible losing streak in the middle of the season.
And it's Samardo Samuels in for Ants, puts it in.
Probably time to bring an extra defender, change up the defense a little bit.
Well, Steve, he's been so good. I think they got to take the ball out of his hands right now.
Toronto calls timeout.
Well, when you look at the Raptors' 16-year history in Toronto, I think the big concern is whether the team can retain its stars. When you look at Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, all great players who decided they wanted to move on. So can Toronto hang on to its own players? That's the big question going forward.
For Anthony Parker. Got a piece of it.
Well, that was not an easy play, but he made it look routine.
Ienga the pass to Sessions. Raptors trail by 19. Backing him down is Johnson. Shot to stop the run, and that one's good.
And I like the way he's thinking out there because he's at a size disadvantage. He's got to use his skill.
Now here's Sessions. 5 points in the game.
For the most part, they're doing a nice
First points in this one.
He's so graceful around the rim. Sometimes you forget how strong he is.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Ienga. Sessions up top, and that one's good. Sessions got his third bucket of the night. Now Calderon. 17-point game. Bunny shot. Again, Toronto. And here at the
Huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Centre in downtown Toronto. While we're still getting underway here in the fourth, let's go down to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark of the Game report. Doris?
Hi, guys. Well, it was the stretch by the Cavaliers that garners the Sprite Spark today. They look like an entirely different team on the defensive end following halftime. When they came out of the locker room with a new level of intensity, that is how they got control and jumped out in front in this one.
Thanks, Doris. Clark, it was a scoring run that proved extremely important.
Yeah, Kevin, you know what? I think that's exactly when they grabbed this one by the throat, really seized control of it.
And you could see their energy just building as the game went on. And by the end of that run, they really took control of everything.
And Cleveland looking at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. Samardo Samuels is out there with Christian Ienga. Then there's Ryan Hollins. Then there's Ramon Sessions. And it's Gibson in at the shooting guard. From the arc. And that one's good. Gibson's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Cavs. Raptors trail by 18. Now Barbo. Shot clock at 6. The Raptors need to get a shot off. Calderon, that's good. Here is Sessions. He's guarded by Calderon. And again, it's Cleveland. Here's Calderon. Here's Kleza. Second chance shot. Barbosa with it. There's a good screen. From outside the arc, no luck.
And that rebound pushes their margin to +5 on the board. Solid job on the glass.
Well, it's just part of what they've...
He's on fire. And they needed to put their...
A new group in now for the Raptors. Bargnani is checked in for Evans. Sonny Weems comes in for Linus Kleza. DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for Leandro Barbosa. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Jose Calderon. Here's Bargnani, and the layup falls.
Great execution coming off that inbounds play.
Here's Davis. And here's Verajao. Dishes it to Parker. Clock at 6. Stepped in the line, out of bounds there, and that will cost them the possession.
That's as bad a miscue as you'll see. It's good to be thinking a few steps ahead, but you've got to maintain some type of current awareness too.
And it's a completely new group on the floor for the Cavaliers. Here's DeRozan. Here is Bayless. He feeds it to Bargnani. Here's Harris. Pass. He shoots over Bayless, and Cleveland again with the bucket.
I tell you what, right now that mid-range jumper serving them well.
Yes, it is, guys. That's 6 of their last 10 points coming from that mid-range area on James leaving. And the answer for the Cavaliers, they're trying to build up their young talent base. They acquired a pick from the Clippers, so they had 2 lottery picks last summer, and they're trying to get better and build with their youth.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Amir Johnson's checked in for Davis. Linus Kleza comes in for Sonny Weems, and it's Calderon in for Jared Bayless. Now here's Calderon. He dishes it to Bargnani. Here is Kleza. Fires the 3, and that is good. Yeah, that just wasn't the way to tip off the post-LeBron era, Steve. You're right, with the kind of year they had. But you know what? Where they got their draft picks in the lottery, you can see they're really working to the future.
Well, they knew it was going to be extremely tough. I mean, you don't lose a transcendent player like LeBron James. And you got some things to think about in a positive vein going forward. Kevin, he didn't turn the ball over once in the first half, but it's been a different story for him since the break.
And that steal really triggered the fast break. Nice play.
Hey, you're right, and the break itself may have been even better.
Now Sessions. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Feeds to Bargnani. Verajao on him. Bargnani dishes to Calderon. Back to Bargnani. Here's Davis. Guys, a good chance for them to slow it down.
Yeah, I agree. Got to use some clock here.
He wasn't paying any attention to the defense. Poor pass there. You see that as soon as there was an opening, he threaded the pass right through it.
And Clark, they're this close to putting it away.
Yeah, they don't need to do anything to reinvent the wheel here. I mean, just take time off the clock and squeeze the orange. Don't turn it over.
Guys, a comeback probably not in the cards at this point.
Yeah, unless something dramatic and drastic occurs.
Yeah, something crazy would have to happen. I think you can pretty much put a bow on this one.
Guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp. Very on top of their game here.
Well said. Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in.